Waterboys College Football Show, Aaron, Strez, and Steve. I am not at home. I am in Orlando, Florida. Came down.
Lucky.
Yeah, I'm sweating and suffering for Jesus in Orlando, Florida. Here for the Daytona Test Week. Shout out to the boys from class. We're gonna have some fun Friday, Saturday. But this is a massive weekend for not just college football, for like the game of football in general. But we want to go back and look at how we got to this weekend. We had the quarterfinals. I don't think one of these games went the direction that we thought it would go. Even the Indiana Alabama game, I thought Alabama would at least be able to score 10 on Indiana.
Yeah. I did say that Indiana was going to win that one by double digits.
But the parity in the regular season, how it's following the playoffs, I just didn't expect that.
Yeah, because we've got a 5, a 1, a 6, and a 10 left.
Yeah,
like that's special. I mean, it was kind of the same thing last year too, though. Like this year is the first year that any of the top 4 teams won after having the first round bye. So last year it was all 5 seed or higher that made it to the semifinals because none of the top 4 teams won. So that part is interesting, but at the same time, it is just more. It's more of the conversation of like, is the college football playoff working the way that we intended it? And when I say we, I mean the nerds that wear the hats and hang the hats on the hat rack thing as they walk into their fancy hotel room and watch all the games and make all the choices and stuff. I don't know if it's working. I think there's a couple problems with it, but I don't know. This just the way that we're getting to where we're getting is, I mean, it's like the NFL playoffs. Like there are times where the best NFL team that you know is the best NFL team doesn't win the Super Bowl, and that's because someone else gets hot at the right time.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I think sometimes as fans, I think we forget the college football playoff is not like the NFL playoffs. For one thing, it is spread out way too far. There's way too much break in between rounds. The other part of it that is similar to the NFL playoffs is sometimes you can watch a game in the NFL playoffs, and we've had it in years past where we go, this is the real Super Bowl. Like these two teams are way better than whoever they're going to play in the Super Bowl. And
I think of the 2022 Georgia-Ohio State game.
Yes. Yeah. And it's, I don't know that we've had a lot of that, but I do, looking at it now, when we look at the quarterfinal, I do feel like we got a little robbed that we got Ole Miss Georgia that early, because the Oregon Tech game, I was wrong about Texas Tech.
Yeah,
I don't know what I was wrong about. It felt like they never could get started, and I think that works into something that Strez and I were talking about just the other day. In the NFL playoffs, the first round bye is a helpful thing. If you don't have to play in the wild card round, that's a helpful thing. But
shout out Denver Broncos, baby.
But your Broncos aren't going to have to wait 3 weeks to play their first playoff game.
Like 26 days, something ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. We can't say it's a reward to not play in that first round and then go, here's your reward. You got to try to figure out how to keep your guys interested for 3 weeks when they've put on pads every Saturday for 16 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And now you're going to tell them, go home for Christmas. Keep your mind ready, guys. That's not happening. Nobody's doing that. Like, it's just not. It doesn't work. I think the first round bye, and Strez and I talked about it, I think it's a detriment. I think if I was a team, I would rather play in the first round than have this first round bye if you're going to spread these playoffs over this month and a half that you're doing it.
Yeah, look at Miami. I mean, I think just from them playing football and not setting has helped them get to where they're at now. I mean, they haven't played the best, one could argue. One could argue in either one of the games did Carson Beck really look the best, but, they didn't sit around. What's in motion kind of stays in motion. And I think they even said, going into that game that teams that had a bye like that and sit for almost a month are 0-4.
Yeah. They're 1-7 now after Indiana being the only team that got the first round bye to win. And I think that should be given with the caveat of they got that win because they were playing the worst team to win a college football game or a college football playoff game at this point you could say the college football playoff in general, but I think this Alabama team probably beats the 2022 TCU team. Maybe. The team that Georgia beat like 63-0.
Boise State, SMU.
Yeah, but we banged the table for Bama should not be in the college football playoff because Alabama is not one of the 12 best teams. Maybe they were one of the 12 best teams, but it obviously showed once they went up against Indiana. Indiana kind of got, a nice draw to not have to play Oregon in the second round, or who are the other teams? Ole Miss, Miami. I think Indiana got a nice draw to get to play Alabama, which is a weird thing to say out loud, but like I've said time and time again, this ain't Nick Saban's Alabama anymore.
Yeah, and I look at it. It's hard to say. Are we getting the 4 best teams? I'm never going to argue they're not the 4 best teams because I hate every year in the men's NCAA tournament they do that. They're like, are these the 4 best teams in the country? And I'm like, they won their games. I mean, I don't know what that means. Like, does that mean like on a neutral field, if both teams are playing their best brand of football, does one? Okay, maybe. But that day they won. But when I look at it, Indiana getting to play Alabama is a travesty in itself. But also, Oregon, it looks bad. 23-0 looks bad. But everybody in the country, including all 3 of us on this show, we all picked Texas Tech. And that Texas Tech team that played at Oregon is not the Texas Tech team that I saw the rest of the year. You can't tell me that being a Big Ten school is a 23-point swing when they go up and play out of the Big 12, because they were just absolutely mollywopping the dog piss out of people.
Well, I mean,
if you remember last episode, I said the biggest thing that it worried me about Texas Tech for that game is I don't know if they've played an offense like that elite and that fast, mainly an offense that fast all season long until that Oregon game.
And a defense that'll bury you too.
Yeah. But I didn't think they'd get shut out. I figured they'd at least put up 14,
Strez, that Oregon safety and defensive back core, those guys are fast.
Oh, they're fantastic. I may need to fact check myself on this one, but I'm pretty sure Dan Lanning played DB in college.
I think he did too.
I'm pretty positive, and I should know this because we played football at the same college. I should know where the most popular graduate of my alma mater, which is a very small school, by the way.
Linebacker.
Where he was he a linebacker? That makes sense.
Linebacker.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense. He comes from that defense. He's going to know how to recruit defense. He knows how to, coach defense, that kind of stuff. And yeah, that their DB room is spectacular. Dante Moore has been a breath of fresh air. I think we've kind of been soured a little bit by Oregon quarterbacks in the past, 4, 5, 6 years. You go down the list. You had Justin Herbert, you had Bo Nix, you had what was the kid from last season?
How far back you want to go?
He's at Cleveland now.
Oh, Dylan Gabriel,
right? Like, so it's a bunch of these quarterbacks that are, have great statistics, great seasons, great careers, but they can't get the job done when they get to the college football playoff or even make it into the college football playoff in some instances. But now you got, I mean, Dante Moore, like, I mean, this Oregon Indiana game could very well become whichever quarterback wins is the first overall pick in this draft. Now, do I think either of these quarterbacks are number 1 overall pick quarterbacks? No. But in this quarterback class,
welcome to football.
it's going to be one of these two guys. It's going to be Dante Moore or it's going to be Fernando Mendoza.
Because I was thinking the same thing, and I was trying to make like a comparison in my head, and I'll go back to the old Big 12 days. But there used to be, if you played at Texas Tech, there was like this stigma. It was like, yeah, but you're playing in this crazy widespread offense, and these Graham Harrell and these guys would put up just like ridiculous college numbers, and then they would get to the NFL, and you'd be like, oh, it doesn't work. I think Oregon has got that, and I'm not saying that Dante Moore is the Patrick Mahomes, because if you are watching the show and you go, oh, I knew Patrick Mahomes was going to work at the NFL level, I'm just going to tell you, you're a liar. You're an absolute liar, because no one said that. No one said it.
Sean Payton and Andy Reid, those are the only two people that I know of.
Everyone said, oh, it's another product of the Mike Leach air raid offense, and that what did they call it? That backyard football wasn't going to work at the NFL level. I'm not saying that Dante Moore's that, but what I am saying is I think we've looked at him in that same vein as, oh, he's Justin Herbert, or he's Dylan Gabriel. He is much better at this level in college football than those two guys were at that same time in their career in college football.
Yeah.
And I think he could surprise a team. I think if you're a team, you're going to get him like maybe high second round. I think you're getting a steal. Like, I think you're getting a really good pick. I know we've crapped on Alabama enough probably for the show. We'll leave Miami, Ohio State for the last one. Hand up, I was wrong about Ole Miss's head coach.
Pete Golding's apparently the best coach in the playoffs right now. Good Lord.
Everything that guy did was exactly what you had to do to beat Georgia.
And now he's got Trinidad Chambliss and Kejuan Lacey both coming back.
Why didn't I take them on the spread and the money line? Dang it.
Just crazy. That fourth quarter was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was a
great For those watching, I texted Strez and Aaron in our group text, and I was like, well, the way all the other games have gone today, I might as well just put something on
this was about 2 hours before kickoff of the Ole Miss Georgia game, by the way.
Then halfway through, one of y'all texted me, hey, by the way, did you put something on them? I was like, Dang it, no, I should have. It'd been my luck that I would have done it, and then Ole Miss would have lost. That's how my luck would probably ran, but yeah.
Honestly, I think the story of, man, there are so many this is what I love about college football. We gripe and we complain and we throw hissy fits about the transfer portal, which valid or not valid. We throw hissy fits about NIL. We throw hissy fits about the fact that the game isn't the same. And then you look at the product on the field, and we are looking at some of the coolest storylines in college football that I can remember. And one of those, probably my favorite one, is Trinidad Chambliss. Like, you can talk about the Pete Golding of it all, the fact that, like, Lane Kiffin just said, deuces, I'm out, left the team right before they go in to play this college football playoff, and then Pete Golding gets promoted to their head coach position, given a 3-year deal. I'm sure he's going to get extended after this is over.
It may be a 4-year deal.
I'm not sure the specifics of it, but to me, it's Trinidad Chambliss is awesome. He made play after play after play in that game in the fourth quarter in crunch time when Ole Miss needed a play. Trinidad Chambliss made it happen. And we're talking about a guy who transferred from the D2 level, won a Division II national championship last year with Ferris State. I think he won the Harlan Hill.
Yes.
Which is, for those of you who aren't aware of this, that's the Division II's version of the Heisman Trophy. Goes to the best football player in Division II football. And then he takes this role at Ole Miss. Everybody's like, who's this kid? And he has 1,000% made a name for himself. And it has been so much fun to watch. I'm really excited to see him in this game that they're going up against. That Miami defense is a lot better than I thought that they were. So it's going to be really cool to see that Ole Miss offense against that Miami defense. I think that's going to be a really, really. I think both these semifinal football games this week are going to be fantastic football games. And I'm really excited to watch the Ole Miss Miami game.
Yeah, they'll
362 passing yards that game against Georgia, by the way.
Which is, name another quarterback that's thrown that many passing yards against Georgia.
He's like at 3,600 for the season total right now.
Yeah, you'd have to go probably back to C.J. Stroud in the 2022 semifinals.
Well, and for people that'll say, "Oh, well, Georgia's down," watch the NFL draft the next 2 years. How many guys from Georgia are drafted?
There'll be like 8
Yeah.
each year.
And they'll all be starters by year 2 or 3, But and the last thing I'll say about Pete Golding is his calming demeanor on the sideline and acting like a professional was a huge breath of fresh air for Ole Miss, because that's exactly the caliber of person that you need to take over a mess. He's great in press conferences. No questions seem to bother him. He doesn't mind giving an honest answer. Seems very sure of himself. And I don't know what LSU is going to look like next year, but that chess match may be the most primetime football game that we get next season.
I'm taking Ole Miss in that one.
I mean,
honestly. Well, where is it? Is it in Baton Rouge? We'll have to look.
I think it's in. I think it's in. It's in the Grove. Yeah, I think it's in Oxford.
Oh, that cat definitely taking the Rebels in that one.
Yeah. Miami, Ohio State, and then we'll talk about the semifinals. Miami can get after a quarterback. I did not see that coming. That front for Miami is athletic, and they move laterally really well. They got a couple of guys, man, that have some really crazy dip coming around the edge that I didn't even know who's like. I was having to Google. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, it was Ruben Bain Jr. and that Mesidor kid. Mesidor, I think he's been playing college ball. I think this is his fourth or fifth year. He's an older guy. He's basically the same age as every player on Indiana's roster at this point.
Right.
He's up there. He's got some experience. But yeah, Ruben Bain Jr. He's got that bend. I think we talked about it last week, leading up to that Miami Ohio State game. Is like the Elvis Dumerville comp is kind of the comp that a lot of people have been talking about. And I 1,000% see it with him. Not quite as thick, but can move like him. And yeah, they won the battle up front for the majority of that football game. I mean, Ohio State came out swinging in the second half. They got it within 17-14, and then had one drive in the fourth quarter. Don't know what Ryan Day was doing. It made no sense to me. There was like no urgency in that Ohio State offense. But yeah, it was. I underestimated Miami 100%, and I will 1,000%. I did the same thing with Indiana, and my measuring stick, which I think should be a lot of people's measuring stick, is how do you play against Ohio State? Both of them dominated both sides of the football against Ohio State. You do that, you've got my respect 100%, and Miami has absolutely earned it. I was actually texting these two after this week, actually. I was like, the only thing that'll make me feel better is if we get a Miami-Indiana national championship game, because the only prerequisite at that point will be you had to beat Ohio State to play in the national championship, and I'm fine with that. So,
as a guy that's lost in a college football playoff, that roots for a team that's lost to teams in both Alabama and Georgia that eventually won the national championship, you do kind of go, I mean, we lost to the eventual national championship.
They beat everybody,
So,
like if Indiana pulls off the 16-0, the first ever in college football history, it's like, do I mind the fact that they beat Ohio State by 3 points in the Big Ten championship game? Not really. Like, That's something that's like it's a moral victory, and it's like not really something that Ohio State and Ohio State fans are, typically do. But
So what you're
I'll take
saying
it at this point.
is if IU wins the Natty, you're going to get you a Big Ten T-shirt.
No. But I will feel less upset about the fact that Ohio State wasn't playing in the national championship game. And it'll be another feather in the cap for just the Big Ten in general, though. 3 different teams winning the national championship from that conference. That is apparently top to bottom worse than the other conference in the South.
Hey, Joel Claus may bring you one for Christmas next year.
There we go.
Send you a Big Ten shirt.
I don't even know them. Do they make those? I have no idea.
You'll have the first one.
I've seen them.
Water Boys started it, baby.
We should just make them and sell them here. That's what we'll do. Call crew.
We don't get
crew on the phone.
It just means a little more.
Yeah.
Ooh, there it is.
That's actually pretty funny.
I have to wear one.
I don't even know the Big Ten slogan.
I think Aaron just came up with it.
That's what I would.
It probably used to be the Big Ten. It's cold. But now it's like it means a little bit more.
Oregon, Indiana.
Rematch.
I like this matchup for Dan Lanning because no one's going to pick Oregon. Nobody.
Yeah, he's got bulletin board material already.
Yeah.
Whoever has the craziest coach on the sideline will win, I think.
I mean, Dan has got a little more. He's got a little Brent Venables in him. Like he can get that psycho look going on the sideline where you're like, you love football way more than you should.
Is this guy on
an
illicit drug? What?
But Signetti has got this you know what it is when I would go play in the rec center after college and there'd always be some big fat guy who didn't look athletic. Yeah. And he'd just go out there and he would cook you and he would talk smack the entire time. And you'd be like, dude, I bet you can't run a 12-minute mile. But somehow
completely uninterested.
Yeah. But Signetti in the halftime is giving Pat McAfee one of these, it's so annoying.
And the way he just stands there with his hands on his hips but backwards and just
yeah.
He just always kind of looks confused, he's always watching the replays. I don't know. Apparently it works. And also, he's preparing for the semifinal game. They are landing massive signing after massive signing in the transfer portal this week. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to it, but Indiana is reloading, which is just ridiculous. Everyone who was in the transfer portal that was as good a good football player, they're like, I'm going to go to Indiana. Never in a million years did I think that would ever be something that players think about. But apparently Indiana runs college football now. It's crazy.
I haven't seen too much of others. My news feed has been slammed with everybody Kentucky's picking up. I love it.
That Wildcats algorithm.
I don't know if it's annoying that Indiana's getting the recruits or if it's annoying that Signetti is complaining. He's like, I can't even get ready for the game. I'm having to deal with portals. It's shut up. Shut up.
Really? Champagne problems.
It's a bad problem to have.
Him and Dan Lanning.
You could be Penn State and you got to buy a Cyclones mascot to have on the sidelines for games next year.
Yeah, their entire roster is basically going over there.
19 players. It's crazy.
It will be weird seeing Rocco back in a Penn State uniform. Not going to lie. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, don't bother me.
It's Penn State.
I'm picking Oregon. People are like, Aaron, you're the championship, pedigree guy. Neither of these teams have ever won.
None of these teams have championship pedigree. Miami's the most recent national champion, and it was 23 years ago. The other 3 have never won one, and none of the 4 coaches have a championship under their belt.
Not as a head coach. So I'm picking Oregon just because I think at some point this train has to stop, for the good of college football.
I just don't think it's going to, man. I really don't. And I know we go back. You scroll back 8 weeks to our video about the Indiana Hoosiers, and those fans are probably just smiling watching this video. If you're watching this, I'm taking the Hoosiers. I don't know. Like that's the team that I think is going to win the national championship at this point. It's
Yeah.
freaking crazy what they've been able to do.
So far, when I've took the opposing team against Indiana, they win. So I'm taking the Hoosiers as well. Maybe it'll jinx some and Oregon will win. But yeah, it's just hard to not get on that Hoosier train right now.
I will say
they got this far.
There's some credence to like taking Oregon in this one. It's hard to beat a team twice in the same year.
Yeah.
But the first time Indiana did it was in Eugene. This is a neutral site game. Indoors.
Right. Yeah.
The climate's going to be completely controlled. I mean, I think Indiana wins this one by 2 scores. (28-17).
Ole Miss, Miami. I the fact that we have the ACC team that that came out of that conference, it was Miami, it still just boggles my mind.
They were the best ACC team. I think we can all agree with that. I think the ACC tiebreaker rule that decided the conference championships was dumb. But also at the same time, we all said that the ACC wasn't very good this year, and then the ACC went out and mollywopped my favorite team. So, I mean, maybe we were wrong. Maybe ACC wasn't that bad. Maybe it was the Big 12 that actually that really sucked.
That would track. And for you Notre Dame fans, I think you're better than both these teams. So just take that for what it's worth. I still think Notre Dame was better than Miami. I think they were better than Ole Miss. That'll be the one that sticks in my craw for the next decade. Pete Golding is really, really good. He's going to have both his quarterbacks. If he's smart, man, I would run packages with both of them and give Cristobal so much to sweat and worry about. I'd make sure some social media videos leak today or tomorrow of both guys getting first team snaps in practice and just go, who am I going? Oh my gosh, what am I? So I'm picking Ole Miss. I don't feel great about it because I think at one point we thought Miami might be the best team in the entire country. They got hot so fast at the beginning of the season.
Their season was like this and back up again.
Yeah, so I don't feel good about it, but I am taking Ole Miss. But if the Razor Ramon of college football, Carson Beck, finds himself in a national championship after all that crap that he put himself through, I want to make that very clear. He got his own car stolen and cheated on his girlfriend. So I'm not. But that's still personally a lot of stuff to overcome to be able to play football. If he finds himself in a national championship against Indiana or Oregon, it'd be a pretty crazy story. But I am taking Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take Ole Miss, and you kind of wonder at some point, and could this be the game where the Hurricanes kind of fall apart? I don't know how they're pulling it, out of their hat, but they beat A&M and won their last game. Even the last game, Carson Beck didn't even have over 200 passing yards. He really personally had one good play when he took off and ran for it and got like a yard shy of getting the first down.
He had 138 yards, 5.3 per attempt.
Exactly. Julian Sand had more passing yards than that.
Yeah. I mean, that game was real. I mean, that game really came down to that pick six in the first quarter.
See, and that's my point.
And a missed field goal.
Exactly. So, are you going to get caught on some of those very fortunate, lucky plays that went your way? And this next game, is your luck eventually going to run out? Or can they still put it together? It's so hard to pick this one, but
yeah.
I want Ole Miss to win, but I feel like if I was betting on this one, I'd pick the Hurricanes. Give me Ole Miss. I'm going with Ole Miss.
I like it. Yeah, I think
I'm not betting on this one.
You have a good point about like their luck running out, right? I don't, like
Yeah.
there were 2 plays where Malachi Tony got smacked by Caleb Downs and the ball bounced off the ground right back up into his hands. Twice. Like the Buckeyes could not catch a break. Like the ball was not bouncing their direction at all in that football
And I
game.
think that's just because Ohio State, like we said, sit out for like a month.
Yeah. Sometimes
that
you
was
create your own luck, and sometimes that is the case. So it does make you wonder. Is this the game that shoe falls for Miami? But I don't know. I think that Miami defense is going to be able to have answers for Ole Miss. I don't know. I think Charlie Weiss has been pulling double duty this last couple weeks.
Yep.
So that's, I mean, you can be a little distracted there. Ohio State's offensive coordinator was doing the same thing, because Brian Hartline, he took that job at USF. Offense looked weird because play calling was transferred over. So there is a chance that could catch up to Ole Miss too. So this one honestly is kind of a crapshoot. Vegas obviously feels that too because it opened at a 3-point spread. Now it's 3.5. So I think I'm going to take Miami in this one. I'm going to trust the teams that beat my team, which is such a homer thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyways. They beat the defending champs, both the Indiana and Miami. I would be silly to pick against both of them. Plus, I need it for my heart.
I've casted more shade than you two, I think, towards the ACC this year. And how crazy would that be if they ended up winning it all?
Nobody's beating Indiana.
Good point.
It's so weird to say, but ain't nobody beating the Hoosiers.
Never thought you'd ever say that, right?
Nope.
Not in college football.
Yeah, college football.
Basketball, that's a different conversation, but
yeah,
college football runs through Bloomington, Indiana, apparently.
And it needs to stop because I can't take any more of Signetti.
I just need Indiana fans to just relax. You've got no successful history. You had a good year last year, and now you're the best team in the football right now.
Enjoy it while you can.
There are 2 guys on this show who have watched our teams play in lose more national championships than Indiana has ever even played in.
Yeah.
So let's just pump the brakes a little bit and stop pretending like you invented college football because you didn't. But I will let you have it this one time. Indiana's great. They're going to win the national championship this year. Just pump the brakes a little bit on the whole Indiana against the world thing. Let's just get out of here. Stop it.
Yeah, because here's the difference. And I was when we were driving down, I was thinking that the difference is Indiana fans. If your head coach leaves, you're done.
Whole roster's going with him.
If Ryan Day leaves Ohio State, if Brent Venables leaves Oklahoma, if Kellen DeBoer leaves Alabama, there are coaches before they can make the announcement. There are some of the biggest coaches in the country going to their agent, going, "Hey, put some feelers out there. See if any of those schools are interested in me." If Signetti leaves Indiana, there's not a single big-time coach in America that's like, "Hey, make a call up here to Bloomington and see if they're interested." Nobody's doing that. Nobody.
Boy, it's fun when it happens.
For now,
I'm UK right now.
We could be wrong. I think that the power dynamics could be shifting in college football. Is Indiana developing blue blood overnight? I don't know. More at 6.
Last thing I've got tonight, I want to give a special shout out because we cut a video from the Waterboy show that appeared as if I was just absolutely trashing Texas A&M, which I was, but I was doing it, I thought, respectfully.
It felt respectful.
I thought it was very respectful. Texas A&M
How many views
fans,
does that have right now?
On all platforms, I have no clue. A lot. At least probably close to 100,000 across all platforms. But I did have some Oklahoma State fans that were in the comments that Oklahoma State fans seemed pretty down on Oklahoma State football. I want to be able to cut this into a short and say, look in the camera and say, Oklahoma State fans, you are my team to watch in the Big 12 next year.
Your time's coming.
Because every move that you have made, and you are getting one of the best quarterbacks in the country that no one talked about at all for the entire season. And that there's something about that stadium in Stillwater. They like aired out football. They've had quarterbacks that could throw crazy, and that atmosphere is great. He's gonna love playing in Stillwater a lot more than he enjoyed playing in Denton at North Texas. And it is going to be Stillwater is going to be a fun place to watch college football next year. So that's for the Oklahoma State fans that felt like I could just tell. You can tell when a program's down and fans are down because they weren't even defending themselves in the comments. They were like, yeah, that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, they're like, yeah, that's a great comparison. Texas A&M is Oklahoma State with better PR.
And I'm like,
yeah, it has been funny to watch that too. But I think you're absolutely right. Like, and it's not just Drew Messamaker. Like, it's Eric Morris.
yeah,
Like we're talking about the coach that like called the Texas Tech offense when Patrick Mahomes was there and put up like 900 yards of total offense against OU in that game. That was like, what was the score? 67-69, something ridiculous.
he reminds me a lot of Matt Campbell. We kept going, why does Matt Campbell keep staying at Iowa State? Why does Matt Campbell keep staying at Iowa State? And then when the right situation came open, after turning down jobs, taking his name out of the hat for jobs, the right situation came open. I think Oklahoma State and Penn State this next year, it may not show for Penn State because I think that program's in a lot worse shape than people want to admit. But I think those two schools, you're getting head coaches who were going to be more than happy staying where they were for another decade, and it wouldn't have bothered them at all. And they are taking a job they want to take. And it's a great place for a place like Oklahoma State or Kentucky, places that have had some good success, just never really gotten over that hill. When you get a coach that you go, he wants to be here. That's a fantastic place. And I think Stillwater, is getting a guy that wants to be there. And I think one of the best things to happen for Midwest and college football is we're going to get Oklahoma State again. And give Oklahoma State like 2-3 seasons, and I'm, as an Oklahoma fan, going to be like, I don't want no part of that offense over there. No,
that'll be a fun football game though. Brent Venables defense versus an Eric Morris offense.
It'll be a blast.
That'll be so fun, and it'll be bedlam, like old school
Bedlam, old school Mike Gundy and Bob Stoops, the offense and the defense guy. All right. Well, next week, obviously, we'll be talking who's playing for the national championship. There is so much college football and NFL happening this weekend. Shout out to the young QBs in the NFL, guys that we watched play college just like a couple of years ago, showing that like the regime change is happening in the NFL. All these old dudes been talking down on college football quarterbacks for a decade about, they don't play the same team in the RPO, this, blah, 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 blah. Well, a bunch of old dudes are sitting at home in Cancun or wherever doing nothing, and a bunch of young dudes are in the playoffs, and it's going to be super fun. So,
heck yeah. Drake May, however, whatever is.
Caleb Williams,
MVP.
Bo Nix,
MVP.
Drake May. Those are the quarterbacks that the three of us root for in the NFL. All second-year quarterbacks.
Ain't that crazy? You would figure, like, the hype right now. Oh, Lamar, I can't wait to watch him ball out in the playoffs, and Josh Allen.
Lamar should be in the playoffs. Let's not get us. I don't even want to get started on freaking kickers.
None of them. True.
Catholic Church, baby. Don't. Hey, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Lord.
But to your point, we got Bo Nix, we got Caleb Williams, we got Drake May. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. I'm
And
excited.
all three of those.
Aaron Rodgers, 47-year-old.
Maybe Herbert will come alive. We'll see. I hope not. I hope he doesn't.
That offensive line is really bad.
They are so bad.
I was looking at some of their rankings today. They're 31st in run blocking and 32nd in pass blocking. I don't know how they're in the playoffs. Justin Herbert. Like that's how the Chargers made the playoffs. Yeah, we got a lot of football coming up.
So that'll be next week on the show. and then we'll forecast national championship, and then after the national championship, we'll switch up some of the content we're doing. Kind of a mix of looking forward, as far as we're not gonna be one of these shows that tries to like dive into the transfer portal too much. For one thing, I got college basketball coming up, and that's my favorite time of the year. And for two, if you just sit there and track transfer portal,
Yeah.
you go into the season way over expecting success, or as a guy, I just don't pay attention to it until about a month before season, because I don't want to go, yeah, we
Yeah.
got it this year. We're gonna be that team, and then get there and go, we paid this running back. I'm not calling any running back out, but if I was, there'd be one that came from the state of California that we paid way too much money that didn't play hardly at all this year at Oklahoma. But I just not going to get frustrated. So, but we're going to mix up the content, do some fun stuff, and forecast a little bit of college football.
If you're a baseball junkie like me, you got the World Baseball Classic coming up in about 4 weeks. Pitchers and catchers report 5.5. That's the best thing about Valentine's Day, other
Also,
than a candlelight dinner at White Castle.
Shout out Winter Olympics kicking off
yeah.
first weekend of February.
Listen,
NHL players are playing
You're
this
right.
year.
We got flag football, right?
No, that's
Yeah.
in the summer in 28.
Oh.
and by the way, I think they fixed the hockey arenas, so I think we are getting NHL players. But there was a
Thank
2 week.
God.
I think
Yeah.
there was a 2 week period there where I was like, we aren't going to get NHL guys. So, hockey gods, we're just asking for USA Canada.
Well, give us round 2,
Yes.
baby.
America,
100%.
We
beep, yeah.
just want that. All right. Make sure that you follow us here on the Waterboys College Football Show. Appreciate it so much. If you haven't yet, go follow Not a Casual. That is our new overarching brand YouTube channel. There's going to be a baseball show on there. Going to be a college basketball show on there. There's going to be kind of a roundtable show with some ex NFL players, college guys, all kinds of fun stuff that'll be happening over there. So go follow Not a Casual. Make sure you follow us on all socials. And while you're at it, in the comments, drop who you think is going to win these semifinal games, and then who you think is going to be matching up for the national championship. And have a
Who's
fantastic.
your daddy? Who's your baby?
I can't do it. Can't do it. Just not gonna do it. They will win a national championship, and I will still go soft schedule, man. It's because that soft schedule they play.
Who's your buddy? Who's your friend? Who's your the one team that Kirk Signetti can bring to the natty? All right, I'm done.
Kurt Signati.
All right. Everybody have a fantastic, wonderful weekend of crazy college football and NFL. Enjoy your weekend.